Hi, everybody. Hold on just a second. I didn't mean to actually hit the live button when I did, but here I am. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I'm a little late today. I had some designing challenges this morning, and I wanted to get it right for you guys, so I'm just a tad bit behind in getting here. So my apologies for that. Let me make sure that my neti cam, my hands are all set up here. That looks good. Might be a little, let me fix that. There we go. That makes my hands look the way they should. So, how is everybody today? I hope you're all doing great. I'm excited to be here. Let me try zooming out just a tiny bit. There we go. Back to me. Thanks. Hi, Christina. Good to have you here. I'm a little all over the place today, but we're going to get it together here. I've got a beautiful set of cards to show you today using the Celebratory Sips Suite from the online exclusive part of our store. So I can't wait to show you those. I have everything ready to go here. So, all right, I'm going to talk to you about a few things coming up. As you guys know, we have our first ever virtual Facebook scrapbooking event. This goes 8.5 hours. It's 8.5 hours of tutorial. Now, the cool thing is you don't have to sit there for 8.5 hours, right? They are going to, actually it's 3 days of 8.5 hours. So you're going to create 12 spreads, and a spread is 2 scrapbook pages side by side. If you would like to be a part of this virtual live scrapbooking event, it's our first ever as Stampin' Up. It is going to be July 16th through the 18th. You do not, hi Mary, you don't have to be present for the whole time. Everything will be recorded and you can go back and watch it. But I want to show you some of the spreads that you can make with this book. Let me take that one off. There you go. So January, they have everything pre-cut, ready to go for you. Here's the next set here. Aren't those lovely? And then I'm not sure if I have the third set or not. Doesn't look like it. So maybe I do. Maybe I don't. Anyway, they are lovely. So the kit starts going on sale tomorrow, and it is a hefty price. It's $250, but you get 12 months of 2-day spreads. Everything's pre-cut, ready to go. Instructions, videos. Think of it as going to a weekend scrapbooking retreat, but you don't have to leave your home. That's kind of the intent of the whole thing. So I wanted you to know that these go on sale tomorrow. It's a limited edition type situation. So once they're sold out, they're sold out. And everybody can buy one because one is your ticket to go in, okay? So I don't think you'll have demonstrators buying up a whole bunch because they can't give those tickets away to other people. So hi, Jan. So let me know if you guys are thinking about coming to the scrapbooking workshop retreat and buying a kit tomorrow. I'll put the item number up in the description. So all you have to do is go to the Tuttle Up shop and put in that item number and you will be ready to go. Okay. Now, one more thing I want to chat with you about is I had my BOGO sale over the weekend. I will put in the description the link to the spreadsheet where you can see what is still available. We have tons of stuff still available. If you would like to BOGO for every dollar that you spend on retired merchandise, you get an equal amount out of the new catalog. That's always fun. So let's see what else do I have going on here. We have a starter kit special going. If you already spend $100 a month on your crafting needs, you can get a discount with Stampin' Up! By joining a team. That does not mean you have to do what I do. I'm over the top, right? I'm the top 1% of what everybody does. And so that means 99% of others just enjoy getting the discount and having fun with it, okay? Which is all I would want you to do. So I love my team. My people are so dear to me, and we have a lot of fun together. So if you're not a part of a team and you would like to be, I would love to have you join my squad and be a part of the Tuttle Up Stampers team, okay? So here we go. We're going to start with, I'm going to show you the products, and then we'll start stamping, okay? So today's class to go is using the Celebratory Sips bundle. This bundle is so fun. First of all, there's a lot of mocktails out there. So if you're not a drinker, but cards are never really about you, are they? They're about the person you're giving them to. So keep that in mind. But I made a super cute card using this bundle for my nephew who just graduated from college, and he loved it. It was so funny. He came back from at his graduation party with a drink in his hand, and it looked exactly like the drink I had made for him on his card. So when he opened it, he's like, wow, that's pretty cool. He said, how did you know? I go, I didn't, I just got lucky. So here is the stamp set. So you get the glassware, all the fun things to put inside, cocktail things. Cheers to you, cheers to us, cheers, it's your day, cheers, let's celebrate. You get an olive, a raspberry, a lemon, a lime, or an orange, whatever you want that to be. Some ice cubes, a strawberry, an umbrella, a cherry, mint leaves, celery leaves. I think this is rose, I don't know, rosemary, sage, thyme, I don't know. Some of those little, those, what I want to say, herbs that people put in their tea. Yes, herbs. Okay, so this is the bundle. Now, what else comes in this suite? What else comes in this suite is this beautiful gold edged striped ribbon, okay? What else comes in the suite are these embossing folders that make the glassware look etched. Especially this one here. I love this one. Very retro looking, right? So that's fun. You also get the designer series paper, which is fun. I'm going to pull that over here. Okay, so now this is a really interesting print, right? And I'm going to show you what we're going to use this for here in just a little bit. But great prints. I love the colors. A lot of the new ink colors are in here. But you get some flowers, which we're going to use today. This is that kind of color block pattern that I was just telling you about. I'm going to show you what we're going to do with that. These can actually be die cut out with the dies, which is fun. And just the garnishes there. Those are all the things I just talked about. I like the orange peel there. That's fun. And some more flowers. And all the back sides are in colors, beautiful prints and patterns, just things that you can easily use to mix and match with, okay? So I'm going to pull that back over to this side over here. And let's get started. Who wants to tuttle up and start stamping? This girl does. Okay, so I'm going to move these things over here to the side, out of our way. We're going to bring in, oh, one more thing. Look at these holographic gems. I like that they're so neutral. They can look like bubbles or sparklings on the glass, white water droplets, whatever you want to use. These are called the holographic gems, okay? All right, so here is our first card. So cute, right? It is, you get a couple of those glasses in there. You get some of those garnishes on that. We're using that embossing folder over here to the side, and then that's the inside of our card. Okay, so we're starting with a card base of Timid Tiger. And I'm going to grab my bone folder, which I just had right here, or my fingernail, whatever works best. Here we are. Here's my bone folders over here. Or are they? Okay, we're just going to use the fingernail today. So you guys, it's funny. I really did not intend to start the live, but now that I'm here, we're going to stick with it. Okay, so there we go. I have a piece of Berry Burst, and I have embossed it with just the edge of that embossing folder. This is the one that makes it look like a glass, etched glass, and I just did it right on that left side right there. I just etched it right there. So we have Timid Tiger card base, Berry Burst, etched with that embossing folder just on that one side. Then I have a piece of that DSP. This is 2 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and I'm just going to add it right here to this right side of the card front here. So I'm just going to add some glue there, using some liquid glue so that I can move it around a little bit if I need to. There we go. And then I have this piece as the old olive. I feel like I need to move my camera out and maybe in a little bit, zoom in a little bit for us here. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay. I'm going to use this side has those flowers on it, but I'm going to use these other side, and I'm just going to put it right up to the edge right there. I just remembered I forgot to talk about something at the beginning. Starting June the 1st, a group of us, we have an accountability group together. We call ourselves the Badass Babes, and that is really a joke that we have for each other. So I hope you're not offended by that. So then I just shored that up. We're going to do 30 days of casing the catalog starting on June the 1st. Through the end of the month. Okay, I'm taking that 1/4 inch white ribbon. I'm wrapping it around this panel, and I am going to cut it off right here at the edge. So starting June the 1st, you guys, I'm going to have 30 straight days of casing the catalog. I'm hoping to do Facebook Lives for most of those. Some days will just be pictures, but if you're part of my email list, you're going to get a PDF of products used and measurements for all the cards for 30 days that we do. Okay, so I'm excited about this event. It's going to start on June the 1st and go through the end of the month, and every day we're going to case one of the cards from the catalog for you. Show you how easy they are to put together. Won't that be fun? Yes, Judy, that's so much fun. See, I can hear you saying that from the other side of the screen here. So I think it's going to be fun. Tell your friends. I will do a little bit of marketing here on it, but it's going to start on June the 1st. And every day we're going to case a project. Most of them will be cards. Some will be gifty items, and some will be scrapbook pages. So that'll be fun. Okay, so I've just used liquid glue and pressed all of that down on the front of my card right there. Okay, so next I have cut from Soft Sea Foam one of the Nested Essentials dies. This is the largest of the rectangular dies from the Nested Essentials. I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back here. Let me pull these out. So it'll be sort of like I did in January with the 31 days of lives that I did for celebration. But this time we're all taking turns designing 30 days of projects from the new catalog, the new annual catalog, and including a recipe card too. So that'll be fun. So don't forget that starting on Saturday, a project will be posted. Some of them will be videoed of 30 days of lives. Okay, so let's go back to what this paper is for. The cool thing about this paper is that you can cut the glassware right out of the paper, and so it'll have that white edge at the top. It'll give it kind of that smoky color. And yes, Sue, this Sunday. No, I'm still on the first card. So I started a little bit late today. So won't that be fun? 30 days of casing the catalog. So you can choose any color of cocktail you want. And some of them are taller. And the taller ones are for the taller glasses. Okay, so you can do the same thing here. And here's a cool thing about this die set. Do you see this die right here? You can set it right inside while you're die cutting out that glass, and it will give it that, let me show you over here. It's going to give it that etched glass look for your tea glass, lemonade glass, drink glass, whatever fits the bill for you. Okay. All right. So I've already done that. I've cut one of the wine looking glasses, the smaller cocktail glasses, and one of the taller ones, and I etched it with that inside piece. And then I have taken some garnishes and already colored them and die cut them for you because they were going to take too long. So I have for you 2 lemons that I colored with my blends in Daffodil Delight. I have a strawberry that I colored in Real Red and Old Olive, okay? And I have a umbrella that I colored in Real Red, okay? Thank you, Christina. I'm glad you think it's a great idea. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're all very excited about it. Okay, so what I need to do is I'm going to put my label over here for a second. Just start arranging these things on my label right here on the front. And so I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of my glassware here. So I'm going to start with my tall, skinny glass. We'll call it a lemonade glass for the non-drinkers out there. Lemonade glass. Okay. And it is going to get popped up right over here. Okay, right like that. Now I have some lemons, and one of them I'm going to cut all the way across in half. And one of them I'm only going to cut to the center. Okay, just right to the center. Because I want this one to adhere right to the top of my glass, right like that. Isn't that cute? So I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue on these little tabs right here where I cut it just to the center. And I am going to, I just realized I kind of put that glue in the wrong spot, but it's going to be okay right there. Okay, so there's my lemon. I'm going to take a half a lemon, put a little glue on the back side of it here, and it's going to get attached. I need to move this up a little bit, don't I? To the bottom of my glass right down here. Cute, 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 cute. My strawberry is going to get attached right next to that lemon right there, right down here. Then this glass that has the blackberry bliss kind of colored inside to it, I'm going to stamp some, isn't that fun? I know, I love that too. So I will say it was not an original idea, but I really like it. So there we go. All right, so I just stamped some ice cubes inside that glass right there. And I'm going to pop this one up as well. Right here with some dimensionals. So how many of you have played with this set already? You've already started. I did all my swaps for 2 swap groups and well, for 2 swap groups. I did use this bundle for that. So I've used it quite a bit already, which is fun. Okay, so this other half of my lemon is going to get attached right here to the side. I'm going to kind of go at an angle, right like that. And then my umbrella, I'm actually going to pop up here onto the edge of the glass. How cute is that? Doesn't that just make you have all the summer feels to it there? Okay, so I'm going to grab those holographic gems. I'm going to scatter some of these on here. You know what? Before I do that, I have a label that I pulled out of the Mixed Media Labels dies. It's the set that goes with this. And you just get a whole bunch of really cool, let me find them here, dies, labels that go with, I feel like they should be in here. They are. Here we go. You get all kinds of fun labels. So we're using 2 of these today. We're using this little one right here and then the next size up on that from the Mixed Media dies, okay? Mixed Media Labels dies. All right, so this little one right here, I'm going to stamp with the words, "Let's Celebrate." And I'm going to do that in Blackberry Bliss ink. Oops. These fonts are so small that when they're on the block, they're kind of hard to distinguish between them. So I've got "Let's Celebrate." Boop. Right there in the center of that label. Perfect. And this is going to get hooked to this drink with a couple of mini dimensionals here. Okay, let's celebrate. So cute. So my nephew had a little glass that looked like this. With a drink in it. And so when I gave him a card, it wasn't this one, but it was very similar. It looked just like his drink. It was kind of fun. Okay, so now for the inside. I'm going to do a little stamping and a little masking. I don't know if you guys have ever done masking before, but I'm going to show you a trick if you haven't. So I'm going to stamp my lemons here, and I'm going to stamp a whole one right here. But then I'm going to stamp a partial one right here. Okay. Now I want my strawberry to look like it's behind this little lemon right here. Oh, let me move that up. Behind this lemon right here. So I stamped a whole one and a partial one right there. So what I did is I took a sticky note and I stamped my lemon right on that sticky edge right there, really close to the sticky edge. And then I just cut around it, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere that sticky part of that lemon right there over that lemon that's coming up from the side. And I'm going to grab my strawberry and I'm going to stamp it right like that. So it's going to go over the edge of that sticky note. Here, let me lift this up just a little bit. Okay, now watch. It's like magic. I'm going to pull off the sticky note and look at how it looks like the strawberries behind the lemon. I love masking. I think it's a fun little technique. Okay, so I'm going to grab my blends. I'm going to color So is anybody out there tempted to do the scrapbooking retreat? I talked about it yesterday. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to build a scrapbook for someone I love. I don't want to give it away. And I'm going to do every month of the year. And then all I have to do is add pictures to it, right? I'm going to give it to them for Christmas this year. So it'll be a Christmas gift from the heart, right? All right, so that's my light and dark Daffodil Delight. Now I'm going to take my real red for my strawberry here, and I'm coloring these. I know I pre-colored the ones I put on the front, but I'm coloring this the same way, okay? So, oops, I got a little red on my lemon. That can be the strawberry juice that kind of is touching it there. And then I'm going to grab my dark and add a little bit of shading right there. There we go. And then my old olive just for the leaves here of my strawberry. How cute is this? Fun. So now this is going to go on the inside of my card base. Bring the outside to the inside, right? So here we go. This is card number 1. How fun is that? So I want to show you how you could just use the DSP to build those glasses, right? So it saves you having to color and die cut and all of that, right? Okay, so I'm going to put these away, do a little cleaning up here, and grab my next card. So tomorrow I will be back with a fun fold. We have kind of a fun fold right now, but we'll have another fun fold. And let's see, what do I not need? I do not need my orange anymore, or my lemon, or my lime, however you want to say it. I don't need my strawberry. I can put that away. And I don't think I need my umbrella. All right, so we can put those things away, kind of get them out of the way. So I do this sometimes if I make a strawberry or an umbrella or something that I've used on another card and I have an extra one, I'll just throw it in here with the case. And then I'll have an extra one the next time I need to use it. Okay. All right. I'm going to put that away. Card number 2. Here's card number 2. This one has some fun kind of orange elements to it. And you guys know I'm an orange lover. I have orange in my house. I decorate with orange and gray and turquoise as well. So my style for my cards kind of matches how I decorate my home. So this is our next card. Super fun. And it's fun to be able to use those flowers too, right? And then this is the inside. I think this is mint leaves. And I think this is rosemary. Am I right or wrong? You guys can help me with that. Okay, so we have a card base that is bubble bath. All right. And then I've cut the DSP that has the flowers on one side. Okay, but I'm going to use the stripes for my background here. So I'm going to adhere this to my card front. My bubble bath piece is just 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then this panel is 4 by 5 1/4. Pretty standard measurements that we use a lot in card making there. Okay, then I have a piece of Blackberry Bliss that is 1/2 by 5 1/4, and I'm just going to add it. Actually, it's 5.5, but I'm going to cut it down to 5 1/4. It's going to just go right across the center of my card base, right like that. Okay, struggling to keep this camera where I want to. Okay, so there we go. Going to go right across the front here. Mary, if you're still with me, did you win any in bingo today? My friend Mary has moved to be near her sister, and she's been playing a lot of bingo lately. Sounds like fun to me. All right, so now I have an old olive piece that is 4 3/4 by 3 1/4, and I'm going to grab this mint leaf and some old olive ink, and I'm just going to add some leaves to this background here. Okay, some of them are going to go off. I'm going to just turn them around. Really, I just need it around the edges just to add some interest to the background panel here of this piece of the card. There we go. Might get a few on the corners here, not leave those bald because those will definitely show. Okay, so there we go. There are my mint leaves, and then this panel is going to go on here kind of catty corner like this. Thanks, Sue. This card was designed by my friend Monica, and she loves all the layers. She's a layering queen. So we have a nice balance for each other because she does lots of layers and details, and I tend to keep mine a little more simple. Okay, so then I have the other side of that DSP. This one is cut 3 by 4 1/4. And I'm going to put this on here with dimensionals, but I'm going to kind of tilt it the other way like that. Do you guys like that? All right, so I'm going to grab my dimensionals again and add them to the back side of this one. You're really going to love her next card that I'm going to do here in a second because it's kind of a fun fold. And I love when she does a belly band because she's really good at that. So I'm just adding dimensionals to the back of this layer of DSP here. Kind of tilting it the other way a little bit. There we go. Okay, so now I've cut a Spotlight on Nature dies. This is one of our favorites, right? It gives a nice little clean, fun, detailed edge to it. And this one is 2 3/4 in diameter. So this is going to go on front right here. And I'm going to use some dimensionals on the back side of this. And then I'm going to do some stamping and coloring of my cocktail, my Celebratory Sip, which is the name of this suite. So I knew I was going to love this suite, not because I'm a big drink maker. Actually, I grew up in a home with no alcohol at all, so I wasn't accustomed to that, right? So anyway, I knew I was drawn to the colors, if nothing else. I'm not saying I don't ever have a drink occasionally, but it's just not part of what I grew up familiar with, right? So I'm going to stamp my glass, okay? And I'm going to stamp my celery, but I'm cleaning it off over here on the side because I just used it, not celery, my mint. There we go. And then inside my little glass, I'm going to take these raspberries and I'm just going to drop them in. There we go. Okay, how cute is that? Now let's do a little bit of coloring. Does that sound fun? All right, so I'm going to take my old olive. I should have a light old olive in here. Let me see if I can find it. It's okay. I just used it, but we'll use the dark. It's fine. I'm going to use some old olive on my leaves here. Okay, and then just the very top edges of my raspberries here. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my Blackberry Bliss. And what I did is I just kind of dotted the raspberries with the Blackberry Bliss like this. Because I like them to look a little stippled. And then I went over with my light. Not that it's going to make a huge amount of difference, but it does provide a little bit of shading. There we go. Now I'm going to grab my peach pie, and I'm going to start with my light. I'm going to go around the edge of the glass and then kind of close to my raspberries here. And you can see I'm being kind of loosey-goosey with it because I want my drink to look kind of mottled. Do you guys know what I mean? Like not so perfect, because I want it to look like it's, you know, the liquid is kind of moving, I guess is what I want to say. What am I trying to say, y'all? There we go. Okay, so there are my drinks. There's my drink, and I'm going to grab my dies, and we have a die for this mint leaf right here, and we have a die for the glass, and I'm going to grab Are you talking about the Spotlight on Nature dies? Sue, I'm guessing. And you know what? My trick, and you should try it, is to lay it on top of a piece of fabric softener sheet, and it catches those little pieces a lot better. This one doesn't really show that, but it really catches them, and it gives another layer to kind of really push through those. So try that. See if that works. That seems to be my salvation when it comes to those dies that have those little tiny, pieces in there. That's what works for me. Okay, so cutting these fellas out over here on the side. I'm using my electric die cutting machine here lately because I've been doing a ton of die cutting and my wrist was getting sore. If you heard that noise, that's why you heard the electricity go there. Okay, so I'm going to add this to the back of my glass right here, and I'm going to use a glue dot. You guys, my craft room right now is a disastrous mess. I know I look like I have it all together on the back side here, but with my BOGO sale last week, I have stuff everywhere. I need to do some organizing this weekend because you know how it gets to the point where you just can't function anymore. That's kind of where I'm at. So it's causing me a little anxiety. And things are getting bumped and knocked and, all the ridiculousness that comes with disorganization. But, when you're getting rid of the old and bringing in the new, there's a lot of, what do I want to say? Reorganization that needs to take place. Okay, so now I'm grabbing this gold ribbon that comes in the suite. I love it. And I'm going to faux bow it, tie a faux bow. That just means I don't really tie it in a bow. I tie it in a pretend bow, and I just twist it, and that just keeps it from having a big knot on the inside. So I just loop it, and twist in the center and grab my tear and tape and adhere it right off to the side of the circle here. Right here. Right there. I'm going to use some tear and tape and just kind of hold it down until I get my, there we go. Cooperate with me there. Okay. My label. So this is from that mixed media set of dice. I really love the edge of that. And on this, I'm just going to stamp the word cheers in my Memento black ink. Well, that piece of tear and tape is being, okay, there we are. I'm going to stamp the word cheer right on the inside of this label. There we go, cheers. And it is going to get adhered. Good thing I'm getting ready to put this label down on this because that just keeps wanting to pop up. I'm going to adhere it right here over that faux bow. So I'm going to grab my dimensionals and it's going to be okay. Don't let that stress you out like it's stressing me out. Okay, I'm going to pull this a little bit and try to gather this. There we go. And I'm going to have a dimensional right here, kind of between my bow. So funny, the things that happen when you go live. It cracks me up. You really have to be very resilient to do Facebook Lives. So be nice to us out there who are doing our best to put on some lives for you and show you some fun things because weird things happen. Okay, so cheers is going to go right here over that bow. And I put 2 dimensionals on this side because this is already lifted up. Once for the circle and once for the label. So it needed 2 on this other side right here. I'm going to cut this down just a tad. And then for the inside of this one, I have another little strip of this designer series paper. Same one I used on the front. It's a 1/2 inch wide. And I'm just going to adhere it off to the edge over here of my white panel. Bring the outside to the inside, right? There we go. And then right here in this little corner right here, I have this rosemary, and I'm going to grab my old olive ink, and I'm just going to stamp. I need to move everything. Either need to move my camera this way a little bit. Let's try that. Maybe that'll help. There we go. That'll help us all out, right? Here we go. I'm going to stamp this right here. And again, create 3 little branches right there. And then on the inside, we are going to stamp It's Your Day. Right here in the corner. There we go. It's your day. Hooray. So this is going to get adhered to the inside. And all we have to do is add those holographic gems to the outside. And we're good to go. Okay, so let me add some of my gems. I really like these gems. I like the shine on them. You know what might be fun? It might be fun to put one on the inside of my glass right here. A little further like that. And then I'm going to put a little one next to my cheers. We're right here. There we go. There's card number 2. What do you think of that one? Pretty cute, huh? I love those bright colors. Okay, so let me put all of this away. And the last card is a little fun fold type card. I think you guys are going to enjoy. And again, look how pretty this is. It uses that floral paper, so it just brings that in and all the colors. The secret C is in there. And we have some cloud cover and some pool party, some bubble bath. I always want to say bubble gum. Okay, so here we go. Card number 3. I need to clean off some of my stamps here as we get started. So, talk to me about what are your favorite sweets right now. I really love the Florals in Bloom. Again, a bright colored sweet. I really like the Impressions sweet that we're using for our craft along. Again, bright colors. I tend to really be drawn to those. But if you guys haven't caught the beautiful Gallery sweet, it is stinking gorgeous as well. So lots of beautiful sweets available right now. And I'm excited to look at that new the year of scrapbooking kit that's going to be available tomorrow. Okay, so I don't need my mint anymore. I don't need my ice cubes. I don't think I need this rosemary, but I do need this stem right here, which I think I'm going to put right like that. And I have To Us right here, so I'm going to keep that last Celebrate out right there, just in case I need it. Okay, so here we go. I think I'm ready to go. Got my card base, and this is fun because this has a belly band on it. Look at this. That pulls off, and then it opens like this, and you've got a little of those sprigs of whatever they are coming up from the bottom there. And look, they're right here on the front of the card as well. So that's fun. I love when everything kind of comes together like that. Okay, so here we go. I have a card base that is 5 1/4 by 8 1/2, and it is scored at 3 and at 7 1/4. 3 and 7 1/4. Okay. 3 and 7 1/4. I don't think I need this one either. I'm going to put that one away here. Okay. Let's go ahead and do the inside, and let's do a little scrap piece here of our sprigs as well. So we're just going to get that out of the way. So I have my basic black. And I need, on the inside, 2 sprigs coming up from the bottom. Put some of my blocks away, out of the way here. There we go. All right. So I'm going to take these sprigs, and I'm going to stamp 2 of them coming up from the bottom over here of my right side. And then I'm going to stamp 3 whole ones. 1, I caught an edge there, but I think I can get around it. 2, 3. Okay. Then I am going to grab my bubble bath blend, my light bubble bath blend, and I'm just going over each of these flowers, starting with my bubble bath. Okay. And I'm going to show you a trick of kind of blending together 2 separate colors. It's not really a trick. It's just a technique, really. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the inside here. There we go. All right. Then I've got my Blackberry Bliss and I have the dark, and I'm just touching the ends of each of these flowers. I want the tips to have that bubble bath, but I want the middle to be more Blackberry Bliss. There we go. And then I've got my Old Olive, and I'm just doing the leaves here in Old Olive. Okay, same with this over here and the inside. There we go. Now I can go ahead. Aren't they so pretty, Christina? I'm really loving them all too. Tomorrow we'll have another fun fold and a 3D project for you, so that will be fun. All right, so there's my inside of my card. Now here, with this piece here, I need to die cut those out 3 times. So bear with me here as we do this. I really think that when you're doing this, that using that Post-it note tape can be extremely helpful. So I'm going to do that over here. Line up my flowers, and I'm going to die cut them out one at a time. Here's my first one. So we've got a little cool front come through Midland. It's only going to be 80 today. It was pretty warm over the weekend. So it's a nice little reprieve. We had a little bit of rain the night before last, which brought in a little bit of a cold front, which is nice here because it gets really hot here in Midland. Throughout the summer. So anytime we get a reprieve, that's awesome. Okay, so there are my 3 sprigs that I'm going to use here in just a little bit. All right, so let's do the outside now of our card base. I have some pool party. I have some bubble bath that barely fits into that front panel right there. So this panel is 3 inches by 5.5. This is 2 7/8 by 5 3/8. So there's only going to be like a 1/16 of an inch difference all the way around. And I would highly recommend that you use liquid glue when you have tight edges like that, because it really helps you to kind of move it and get it into place. If it's easy to get crooked and kind of off the edge if you're not careful. Okay, there we go. I have another one here that is 1 1/8 by 5 3/8. This is bubble bath. Okay. All right, and then I have a panel of that designer series paper. Isn't this just so pretty together? This is let me remind myself, 2 3/4 by 5 1/4 is what this is. Okay, 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. Let me get those corners really good there. All right, it's going to fit again pretty tightly into the inside of that bubble bath panel. And then I have a skinnier panel for the other side that is 1 inch by 5 1/4 inches. Okay. Oops, almost put it on upside down. My friend Brenda was probably out there screaming, Judy, don't do that. All right, so there we go. Now I have a belly band that is 1 inch by 11 inches, and I'm just going to wrap it around, but you don't want to have it wrapped super tight because you want to be able to, get it off the front of your card when they want to open it. So I'm just going to loosely kind of wrap it right like that, and I'm going to add some adhesive in here to kind of hold it all together right there. Okay, all right. That ribbon, that gold ribbon's going to come back. We're going to tie a faux bow. Again, this one's going to be a little loopier, a little longer. Twist it in the center and put it right here on the front of our card. This time maybe my tear and tape will hold it a little bit better than it did last time. Okay, right there. I'm going to wrap that around to make sure it won't adhere to the, there we go. Nice and secured. All right. I have another die set I need to tell you guys about. These are amazing. If you haven't gotten your hands on these are called textured note dies. It's all these rectangles, and look, every single one of them have a different kind of textured edge to it. Can you see that? That's kind of fun. So remember how we used to think it was so cool when we just had a stitched edge? Now look at what we can do. All these fun different decorative edges. So I've cut this one out of Berry Burst, okay? This one is the texture die that's 2 1/4 by 3 3/4, okay? I have a piece of basic white to fit inside, and it is 1 7/8 by 3 3/8. I'm gonna grab my blending brush and just real quickly, I'm going to blend on some ink on the background here. I want it to look kind of mottled and modeled. How do you say that? I need my friends that are good with pronunciation. Okay, so this is going to get attached right to the top of this textured note die, and I'm going to attach it flat. I'm going to add a little liquid glue to that, and it's going to go right there in the center. Okay, push that off to the side for just a second along with these sprigs. And I've got some glassware. So I've already cut this one out of cloud cover ink, and now I'm going to show you that you can take this glass, and I'm going to use Secret C, and I'm going to cut the outline and the inside that gives it kind of that faceted look to it all at the same time. I can cut this out all, so I'm going to lay it over here on my die cutting machine. I'm going to run this through, and that inside part is going to etch that glass so that it looks like faceted glassware. Okay? And this is the result of that. Isn't that fun? I love that. Okay, next, for this cloud cover one, I'm going to grab that embossing folder, this one here, that also kind of looks like etched glass, and I'm going to set my glass in there, and I'm going to run it through the embossing folder. Let me get this panel out of here. Grab my embossing panels. Okay, Just laying it in like that. And I'm laying it this way because I want this top edge, these kind of pieces right here, to be along the top edge, okay? Putting that down, I'm going to run it through here. There we go. How cool is that? Which way do you like better, the embossing folder or the die? I think it just gives kind of two totally different looks to it there. You see that? Okay, on the bottom of this glass, I'm going to add some of this Pool Party ink, and it's going to really help that etching kind of stand out here at the bottom. There we go. And I'm almost done. So I'm going to take this piece of glassware, and it's going to go right here. And I believe I put some dimensionals on the back side of that. So let me do that. And you can tell you could really use either side of that glass. It wouldn't really matter. Depending on what kind of etching that you want to use. Hi, Imelda. Nice to have you here. I'm using the Celebratory Sips collection today and showing all the possibilities for this awesome set. And then tomorrow is going to be a fun fold and a 3D item. So I'm going to take one of these sprigs right here, and I'm just going to attach it, kind of coming this way. Oh, maybe a little higher than that. Let's see if I can pull it up without getting glue everywhere. There we go. And then this glass is going to kind of come off this way. But this time, these sprigs are going to pop out from the glass here. So I feel like, Imelda, you owe me some celebratory sips, if I remember right. You don't owe me. But we had a standing date last year that kind of never happened, right? So we need to make that happen soon. Imelda is my friend here in Midland that moved here from California. Found me on Facebook, and now we're good friends. That's what I love about Stamping Up, is the community and how we're all brought together, right? With our love of stamping. I'm going to move this down just a little bit. There we go. Right like that. All right. So there's my glassware on the front. Now, I have a label, or I should have a label already made, but of course, not finding it. So the label that I want to use is this one right here from our Stitched Shapes dies, right? If you don't have them, I don't know why. They've been around for a while and they are amazing. Okay, so I'm going to grab a piece of white cardstock. I'm going to stamp cheers in my Berry Burst ink. And I'm going to stamp to us right underneath it. So here's cheers. Whoop. To us, to you. You could do any of them. It's your day, whatever you want to say here. Okay, so I'm doing to us. And secret C. Pulling in that secret C that's on that glass there. Okay. Glad I did that because, okay, so sometimes it's hard to see through. There we go. To us. Cheers to us. All right, so I'm going to take my label here. I'm going to run it through my machine over here off camera. And we are close to being done with our 3 cards for the day. So I'm excited about my pajama kit night on Friday night. I wish all of you could come, right? That would be fun. But we're just going to eat food and make kits and wear pajamas and just have some girl time. How fun does that sound? Okay, so cheers to us. How cute is that? I love the colors on this one too, don't you? And I think I'm going to do this just flat on here. So let me grab my Seal Plus. And there we go. It's going to go right like that. And I'm going to add some of these holographic gems. And you can just sprinkle them on kind of wherever you want. There's no wrong way of doing this, okay? And then I think that medium one, I'm going to have it go right down here in this corner right there. All right, now this is going to go just on my belly band right here, right? You don't want it adhering to the back because you want to be able to slide that back. So what I recommend that you do is take your dimensionals and actually adhere the dimensionals to the belly band itself, okay? If you try to adhere it to this panel, there's a chance you could get off track, right? So I'm just adding my minis here to the sides right here. So I have 5 of them. Pull those off, the tops off of those. And then I can just set my label on top of them wherever I want them to be, right? It might have a hard time adhering right there to that tear and tape. So I'm going to move that one over a little bit. And then this is gonna, you can set it right. I like it to overlap this side label here just a little bit. So cute. I love it. All right, let me cut this side off. And I'll pull out all of my cards for today. This was card number 3. This is card number 2. And then this is card number 1. Which one is your favorite? Are you going to have a hard time picking today? I would have a hard time picking today. So those are the first 3 of our cards for our online class to go this week. And tomorrow we will have a fun fold and a 3D project for us. So I hope you guys love these. If you enjoy them, please give me some love and thumbs up and hearts, and come back tomorrow for my next 2 projects for this online card class to go. So God bless everybody. Christine says she likes the first one the best. It's pretty cute. I agree. Okay, so I'll see you soon. I'll see you tomorrow at noon, and maybe I'll have some new class offerings to talk to you about. You really need to sign up for my email list if you haven't already. That's where you can always get the most updated information on classes that I have coming up. I have a sunrise sailing class coming up, and I have that coneflower class coming up in June. So enjoy. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.